In the worst part of Jamaica, I mean, we changed producers and directors a number of times. How many people know why I'm a brunette in that film?
No, I don't know.
Because I just had my baby and I was breastfeeding and I couldn't color my hair.
Oh, I did not know that.
So here we are, we're schlepping, you know, this, like, how old was Gabby? Well, I'm still breastfeeding, so she had to be like, you know, under 4 months. Oh, I just told you how my breastfed. Don't tweet it! And so we're schlepping her in formula and pumping shit and all this stuff. And Chris is with me. Thank God Chris is with me because, you know, Chris was my soulmate, my rescuer a lot of life. Shit. So, I'm tired. I can usually pull it back. So anyway, he was there, and it was just one fiasco. Oh, so I'm in this body cast, right? I have this big scene in this body cast. It's going to take at least a day to shoot. And I get there, and they say, well, we had you come early because we have to wrap you in all the stuff and everything. I said, say what? Well, I said, yeah, you're just gonna wrap me in the cast? You don't have a cast made that you can open up or something? Oh yeah, that would have been a good idea. I said, well, how do you think I'm gonna pee or anything? If I'm wrapped in no. So they actually figured out how to cut it and put a hinge on it so I could get in and out of this. Seriously. Sometimes I think I should direct myself. OMG. It was just, yeah. But after that, we took a family vacation. We went to Ocho Rios, which is, heaven, and had a lovely family vacation. So that's kind of what I choose to remember about shooting Popcorn. Yeah.
Is it weird for you when you get cast in a movie where you're not that much older than the person that you're playing mother to? Like with
that
Jill.
Would be my entire career.
Is it just, you know, it's work for you, it doesn't feel weird?
No, you just commit to the part, you know? I mean, there are a lot of people that have babies at 17 and 18, so I just go there, as opposed to me who had one at 40.
Now, as far as, you know, with Popcorn, was there anything, I mean, I've read the original shooting script, and it differs very much from what actually happened.
Pretty much every original script that you will ever read differs considerably from what you're going to see. The first cut of 10 that we had, 4 hours and 57 minutes. It was his first cut. Yeah, well, Blake was famous for shooting too much. So, all I can tell you is after you go through, yeah, me too. After you go through 3 directors and 2 producers, and, you know, and you have to understand, you get to the set and they go, shit, we're behind, what can we cut? What can we cut? I mean, that's rampant on a lot of sets these days. We lost a lot of Rob Zombie's stuff because we just didn't, in Lords of Salem, we just didn't have time. You know, he was financing this all himself, and we were, do you know that everybody in that picture worked for scale? Yeah, just because we love Rob, and we wanted to support him in doing his own thing. But that's like unheard of these days. You know, it's really unheard of. Actors just don't do that, but he got all of us. It's so funny, my agent called me, she said, well, Rob Zombie wants you for his new film, and he wrote the part for you. And it's stale. I said, what? She said, well, he's doing it all himself, and he's asking everybody. I said, across the board, everybody's working for scale. And she said, well, we're waiting on you. No pressure. I said, dude, I'm in, you know, because I I just love Rob. I just love him.
Well, that actually leads into the next sort of line of questioning. If you could just talk about your work with Rob. Was there ever a time when you got to sit down and sort of have a meeting with him before you were cast in Halloween and that sort of thing?
I didn't say hi to him until, well, let's see. I think when I went to get wardrobe, he was there, and we met, said hi, and I mean, Lords of Salem. I did that beastie thing for him too, the voiceover. What's that called, you guys?
The Haunted World of Elsevier Music.
Yeah, and he called me and said, Dee, you want to come in and do the voice of this she-wolf for me? And I said, well, what's it about? He said, well, there's these 3 she-devils, or 3 she-wolves, and I mean, there's a lot of sex and shit in it. And I said, can I be the one with the biggest boobs? He said, okay. So where were we? Sorry, I digress.
Well, also, I mean, with Lords of Salem.
No, I didn't see Rob about Lords of Salem. I mean, we emailed a couple of times about it.
So you've got Rob Zombie's email?
How much is it worth?
Well, with Lords of Salem, I'm not going to say you play against him because we've seen you now as evil and sweet, and we can't really distingush the two anymore.
See Hansel and Gretel.
Oh, really?
That's so much fun playing that witch.
But with Lords of Salem, for anybody who hasn't seen it, you're a pretty badass bitch. You're like, oh, hi, cute. Let me just beat you to death with a frying pan. So, do you enjoy more being the bad woman? Do you like that? Is it cathartic?
Again, I want to work. Actually, yeah, I do. I like playing. I would love to play somebody really whacked out again. At the beginning of my career, I played some really demented, mentally sick women. And you have to understand, when I was at the height of my career, all the movies of the weeks, that's what we did. That's what was going on. And so you got to play battered wives and alcoholics and, all the movie of the week genre kind of roles. That's my stuff. Sweet moms, yeah, I can do sweet moms really well. It gets kind of boring after a while, quite frankly. And I have a really beautiful film that actually Gabrielle and my daughter's name is Gabrielle Stone, that's who she goes by, are doing together. It got hired separately. How interesting is that? And everybody thinks that, like I said, I do that out. Anyway, it's called the Elephant's Graveyard that we're doing in September. And I get to play a woman who's dying of cancer. And to those of you who are asking, no, I've never died of cancer, so I don't really know what it is. I get that question all the time, like, do you go down when you have to play a hooker and study, do you become a hooker for 2 weeks? No. I know how to get fucked, though. I've been fucked a lot in my life. What was the question?
I don't even remember now. I'm so enthralled in there.
Oh my God, sometimes I watch these things and I go, seriously, that came out and go down.
Like yesterday.
But you said it's what you did. What?
Remember yesterday when we yelled at Helen? It was awesome.
Kind of. Look, let me tell you. I was supposed to be this Cupid doll all the way through Lords of Salem. Right? And then we did the scene because he wanted the first of it just, we're playing roles, we're faking it, right? So I was supposed to be this cute little, and so after we gave her to Satan, Sonny went, I'm not fucking doing this anymore. I'm not doing this charade anymore. And this is what happens to me. Seriously. The part tells me, I don't tell the part. And I'm going, oh, what am I going to do with that information? So I went to Rob and we're getting ready to shoot the next scene, and we're always don't have enough time. And I go to him and I went, dude, I don't think I can look like this Cupid doll anymore. You know, that was the facade, and now we've done the deed, and I gotta be who she really is now. And he said, well, what do you mean? I said, the hair's gotta change, the whole thing's gotta change, because that's not who she really is. I gotta, you know, the look's different, the whole thing's different. I'm like getting it as I'm talking it to him, right? And he looks at me and goes, all right. I mean, this is how much he trusts you. That's why every actor wants to work for him for scale. And I looked at him and said, I can change the look, I can go for it. And he goes, if you can do it in 15 minutes. And we did. I just went in and I said, slick it over and slick it back and darken my cheeks here, make it more angular, and you know, we just kind of threw her together. The clothes worked. The clothes still work, so that's how that all happened. And so much of that scene, the infamous, you know, frying pan scene, now I call it, so much of it was improv. Much to Judy and Patricia's chagrin, because they're English and they don't like to improv that much. I, on the other hand, after working with Rob in Halloween, was so excited about the fact that we could improv and bring in all our own shit and stuff. I went, okay, well, you guys say the line, and I'll say most of the lines in improv. So it just worked, and the three of us just work. We just work together, don't we? All those colors, just, yeah.
We all played really well off of each other.
Yeah.
It's very, Judy surprised me the most in that film. She was great. The one thing, you know, you talk about, you like to work, you know, you like to take on different roles. It's a job, it's something you love to do. Have there ever been any roles that you've read and you turned down, and then also in the same vein?
Yes, all the rest of the Helen films. They sent me the second one, I went, I'm sorry, I don't do porno yet.
Yet.
Yeah.
What about now? No, I'm joking.
No, I do get fucked, but not on screen.
Now, have there been any roles that you've decided to turn down and then they go to somebody else and say that ends up becoming a very big role for somebody?
No.
Nothing like that?
I have better taste. When I read E.T. behind closed doors, locked, you know, I called my agent and I said, you know, this isn't my film, I'm not really starring in it, but it's going to do a lot for this world, and I want to be a part of it. I knew that as soon as I read it. Of course, little did I know that here I would be 30-some years later, and that would be the iconic part of my career, pretty much. But no, the one part that I've always been really, really sad about is the movie of the week, Adam, about the little boy. I was doing a movie of the week with Dom DeLuise, and it overlapped one day. And we tried, and they wouldn't wait, and they wouldn't push, and so I finally just had to, you know, give up and go, it is what it is. And it catapulted Joe Beth into a lot of opportunities, you know, but I guess there's enough for I'm still here.
Yes. Now, out of curiosity, are there any of your roles that you regret or just you weren't happy with?
You know, there's no roles that I really regret. It's the projects that the roles are in. Too numerous to even mention. You know, this whole freaking low-budget bullshit thing that Melissa Gilbert did when she was president of SAG sold us all down the river.
Can you explain it a little bit?
Well, yeah. You know, now ultra low-budget SAG film, and they relinquished a lot of what we used to get on our site contract to do these. Most people get paid $100 a day to come in and do them. I won't do them. I don't think anybody should do them. And I think that's why we have a lot of schlock out there. And people, seriously, I just did a film. I will not tell you what the name is. I just did a film. And the set closed down because half the checks bounced. Now, my agents are good agents, so they always get my money in escrow. So, I called them and they went, well, you gotta stay on this empty because your money's in escrow. So, I'm sitting there, as I always do, trying to help. I always go to, how can I help? And I thought, well, we've got the kids on the set. They've been here since 8 o'clock. So I went to the first AD, I used that term loosely. And I said, look, there's a big chunk in this one scene that's just with me and the kids. We could shoot that while we're waiting for you guys to work all this stuff out. That's a good idea. I said, well, I think we should shoot it now because the kids have been on the set since 8 o'clock. No, we're going to shoot it after dinner. I said, Now, I'm waiting for him to put this together, but the bells are not coming on. I looked at him and I said, so they've been here since 8, right? How long do you have them? Oh, we have until 5. What time's dinner? 5. And we're going to shoot them after dinner. And I waited, and I finally looked at him and I said, okay, you have to lose the kids at 5, and dinner's at 5, so we can't shoot them after. Oh, fuck, you're right. Right? Seriously, I'm overdoing things where I know more than they do. I'm just over it. It doesn't honor your talent, you know? You're really throwing your pearls before swine. And I'm totally, I go out and help a lot of young filmmakers. I help a lot of young filmmakers and lend my name if I think they know what they're doing and they have enough money to do it well. And you don't really need a lot of money to do it well, but you do have to know what the hell you're doing. And, you know, let's put on a show is not, that doesn't work. You gotta know, really know what you're doing and pull in favors and, you know, E.T. could be looked at as a low-budget film, the amount of money that we had to spend on E.T. But it sure was better than, what's the other one with the airplanes?
Oh, I was just thinking Mac and You.
But the other one that Steven did,
1941.
1941, they had a huge frickin' budget. Look what happened with that. You know, it's not about the money, it's about the creativity and what you can do with it. But don't ask me, that's been in this business for 40 years, to walk on a set without my own dressing room. It can be a small dressing room. It doesn't have to be a, you know, a big trailer like I always had. But don't ask me to walk on without a dressing room in a private place of my own with my own bathroom. That's just disrespectful. You know? Don't ask your crew to work all day and not put any fucking food out for them. It's just disrespectful. You don't run a movie that way. If you don't have the money to take care of the respect for the people that are coming forward for you, then you shouldn't do the movie. And that's my thing.
The one thing that I definitely want to touch on before this is over, speaking of directors who, at least I've heard, do respect the people that are working for them, I want to talk about your work with Joe Dante and The Howling. And do you still talk to Joe? Are you guys still friends? Yeah. I mean, would you ever consider doing another movie with him?
Anything.
Yeah.
Anything. You know, the big problem is that Joe is so creative and he's got so many of his own ideas, you know, that the people in charge want to often take those away, and he just goes, take a walk, you know, as Peter Jackson often did, you know, but after his huge late successes, he can do that, you know. I would work with Joe anytime, love Joe. He tells me stories about what I was really like on the Howling, and I did not do that.
Like what? You have to tell us.
Oh my God. I guess I was an erotic mess. Seriously. And we did this show together a few months ago, and he'd go, oh yeah, I just go to Chris and go, I don't know what to do with her. I said, really? I remember being really professional. He said, oh, you were really professional, Dee. You were just an erotic mess because you would get into the part so much. You know? There was, you remember the scene in The Howling where we're running to try to escape the werewolves, and the werewolves come and attack the car? Okay. Well, somebody thought they'd have a lot of fun and put a blank in the gun during rehearsal. You don't do that with Dee. So we're in the rehearsal, and you know, we're practicing where the werewolves are going to hit it, and I know it should have been rehearsal, but I just get into it. And then the gun goes off. I think I screamed for an hour. I just lost it. I just, you know, because you're in La La Land.